Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the A side. I'm your host, Riley. And today we've got very sad news for another band has fallen. The beloved and esteemed A Day to Remember has been eaten by the Imagine Dragons. They on their newest album, You're Welcome, they are going in this kind of arena rocky pop kind of trap rock-ish direction. And I thought we were over this shit, for Christ's sakes. I didn't hear any albums like this in 2020. I thought we left this shit in 2018 and 2019 with albums like My Crew is Dope and America and that fucking Papa Roach album. I thought we were past this, but no, here we are with You're Welcome, the newest A Day to Remember album. This is why rock is dying, people. And I don't hate this album as much as other people do, but I don't like it. I don't. And it just fails on so many levels. Um, First off, so much of the lyricism on this album is really watered down a lot. You can see this on a song like Permanent with the line, the future freaks me out, which is just one example of many. But it is so basic and watered down. Like, you think you guys could get any more on the nose than that? This album will also give you major whiplash, as it will go from one track being super, like, heavy and metally, and then the next track just being, like, straight up pop, being infused with all these poppy kind of hip-hop and pop elements to them. And sometimes within the same song, like I said, it will just give you major whiplash. And that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes an eclectic record can be really good. But on this album, A Day to Remember don't really do either necessarily very good. The heavy moments are just very boring, while the popular moments are extremely cringeworthy. And there are points where they do try to kind of meld the two together, but honestly, I think that comes out just as bad, if not worse. The closest it ever gets to working is on the chorus of Resentment, but sadly, much to my chagrin, the rest of the song does not hold up as well as the chorus. The rest of it pretty much fumbles, trips, and falls, and breaks its ankle. Especially the part where it's like the bridge, I think, with these 808s ripped straight from the radio, and then they're screaming over it like they're Ollie Sykes, and it just is so clunky and doesn't work whatsoever. I do think this album starts off pretty okay, actually. I like Brick Wall. I think Brick Wall is a pretty solid rock song. It's followed by Mind Reader, which is another song I like and I do enjoy until I got to the bridge. And I heard that bridge, I'm like, wow, this sounds like something I've heard before. And then it hit me, and the worrying settled in. This sounds like Fall Out Boy Save Rock and Roll, which is an album I hate, and that bridge sounds like it was ripped right off the album. And that continues into the next track, Bloodsucker, which opens up with these arena pop. Whoa! Sounds like it's ripped out of like The Greatest Showman or something like that. And it does sound very, very familiar to Fall Out Boy Save Rock and Roll. And it's followed by these really cleanly produced pop acoustic guitars. And then the singing starts. And the vocal effects on his voice here are so bad and they're so annoying. And they are the same exact vocal effects that Patrick Stump has on a lot of Save Rock and Roll. It reminds me a lot of that. And I get that a lot throughout the entirety of this album. I feel these vocal effects annoying me. And then I get to the chorus with that super annoying whoa again. And this song is just cringeworthy. And when I heard it, I knew I was in for something bad. Last Chance to Dance is one of the heavier songs, and it comes off as pretty forgettable. There's so many better bands doing better. Well, I shouldn't say better bands. I do think A Day to Remember is a good band. I've heard Homesick, which I think is a really good album, and I know they're very beloved by a lot of people. But there are better tracks and better songs I can listen to for this kind of heavy metal core-ish sound. I'll go listen to that Architects album from 2018, or some of the early Bring Me the Horizon albums, or anything else. And those albums are gonna be consistent and good. Where this one, isn't, followed by FYM, which is a pretty terrible song. Lyrically, it sounds like he is a snot-nosed, egotistical kid who's mad at his teacher and his classmates. And FYM stands for fuck you money. And he's telling, wait till I get my fuck you money, I won't need you, yeah, 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 yeah. And it's so snotty and obnoxious in so many ways. And musically, that song is just terrible. Another song filled with pop trash, and of course, it's got that millennial whoop lining the chorus, and the millennial whoop is all over this album here. Whoa, that you hear in so much pop music, and it gets so repetitive, and here it just is so stale and cringeworthy and does not work. But then you have an opposite message on the song Only Money, which is a song about, how friends and family and who you are is more important than the money you have and material possessions, which, you were just talking, a couple tracks ago about how much you wanted to be a person who was better than everyone else because you had money and how you were going to let your money define you. Because you'd have fuck you money, you can do whatever you want and don't have to worry about what other people think. A couple songs ago, you wanted to be the person you're complaining about in this song. And second off, this trope and theme has been done to death a million times over and over again in the last couple hundred years of literature and art. And it's done particularly cheesy here. There's so many better songs, books, movies, or whatnot. Hell, there's an episode of SpongeBob that does this better than this song does. And it's just not good. Viva La Mexico is a very strange song. I think the cartel probably forced them to make it, but it's just pretty much about them going on a vacation to Mexico and coming back a different person for some reason. What really makes me hate this song, though, is the weird, cheer of a pre-chorus. That just doesn't work at all. It's pretty awful. Degenerates is a song a lot of people hate, and I have some respect for Degenerates because it doesn't pussyfoot around experimenting with pop and going pop. More so, it embraces it. I mean, it's got a super poppy, radio-friendly chorus. My friends are degenerates! And it has, something resembling a beat drop in it. So I have some respect for, being risky and actually, really experimenting. But it still fucking sucks. It's still not good. Um, so much of the production on this album is really bad. The mixing is bad. The vocal effects are terrible throughout the entirety of this album. So much of the wah-ohs and millennial whoop and all this stuff. There are points like on Viva La Mexico where it seems like they're trying to experiment and throw things in there. But the mixing is so bad you can barely notice it. Nothing new ever gets a chance to shine because it's just all so fucked. And it ends with what's probably the worst song on the album, Everything We Need, which literally sounds just like an Imagine Dragons song. I am not kidding. I'm not shitting you. It's an Imagine Dragons song. It's got the boom, clap, beat, the super poppy folk acoustic guitars. It's got a big group sung chorus that's meant to appeal to everyone in the room. Some bullshit. And it's so bad. And there's a point where there are claps. There's a lot of clapping and snapping beats on this album. Straight out of the pop scene, but not even modern pop scene, like the pop scene a few years ago. It's like you're trying to be oh, hello, fellow kids, but they're making music that I would have heard in public in 2017, 2018, 2019, even before that, because that's around the time the rock bands were trying to do this shit. So it's a weird mix of Imagine Dragons and Save Rock and Roll Fall Out Boy and 2017, 2018 pop music and hip hop. And I don't think it's as bad as an album like My Crew Is Dope or that Papa Roach album or even Amo. I have more respect for Amo because Bring Me the Horizon is a band that I know genuinely was excited about Amo's sound. Here it feels a lot more soulless, but I think it does work a little better than some of those albums. And I shouldn't be so dismissive of the sound because there are albums I like. I like One More Light. I even like Fall Out Boy's Mania, but this just is not working for me at all. When people say rap music is dead, they're referring to albums like this, because A Day to Remember was one of the greats in both the pop punk and metal scenes, metalcore scenes, that is. And a lot of people still love this band to this day, and I can see why. An album like Homesick is really good. They've got a lot of good songs, and there are even moments that shine through on this album that show that A Day to Remember is a good band, and there's a good band in here, and there are good ideas. A lot of this album does have some pretty good melodies to it, but overall, it's just either really cringy or I just can't find myself caring about it. So yeah, I don't think it's the worst thing I've heard, but I'm feeling a 4 minus out of 10 on this album. I almost gave it a 3, um, but I don't hate it enough to give it a score like that. I'll give it a 4 minus out of 10. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, because I think there's good buried very deeply in here under a lot of bad ideas, bad production, and watered down writing. So, yeah, maybe some people like this album, but I know a lot of people didn't. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe. I'm almost to 100. I only need like 16 subs until I get to 100. So subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.